behalf of APrIGF MSG, I welcome you to the closing ceremony of 16th edition of the Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum. I think we have had very vibrant and productive discussions for the internet governance process in these last 3 years, with interventions from grassroots organizations to the former Prime Minister of Nepal. So we really had a multi-stakeholder dialogue in this edition of APrIGF. We started this forum by discussing the future of multi-stakeholder digital governance in the Asia Pacific, followed by a wide range of discussion, from a very timely session on Wishes Plus 20 process to discussing the future of emerging technologies like AI and its impact on the society, to discussing digital right enforcement along with sessions on sustainability and resilience. This year, we've made extra effort to bring in lived experiences of vulnerable groups like women, young people, indigenous population, and people with disability to have their say in the APrIGF process. As Asia Pacific region is a diverse region, and diverse are our challenges. So to move into the closing plenary, we have esteemed speakers from South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and the Pacific to discuss bridging the digital divide. So for the closing plenary, I hand over to Mr. Suman Basnet, Regional Director of AMARC-Asia Pacific, to moderate the plenary. Sumanji, the mic is yours for next 60 minutes.
Thank you, Ashirwadji. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants joining us from across Asia Pacific region and from very diverse time zones. My name is Suman Basnet, joining you from Kathmandu, and I bring greetings from a part of the world where connectivity is not a convenience. In fact, it is often a daily struggle. We contend with difficult terrain, limited infrastructure, frequent power disruptions, and resource constraints. So for us, the question of inclusive and sustainable connectivity is not abstract. It is deeply personal and immediate. Over the next 1 hour, we'll explore what inclusive and sustainable connectivity truly means, not in idealized terms, but through the lens of ground realities from across the region. Our discussion will focus on gaps in access, affordability, and resilience, and how different actors, ranging from technical experts to social entrepreneurs, are addressing these challenges in diverse ways. I hope this conversation will help surface lessons, catalyze new ideas, and sharpen how we move in from vision to action. Before we begin the deliberations, please allow me to present a brief disclaimer. Internet governance is not my area of technical expertise. I'm here as a representative of community radio sector, a field deeply rooted in the local voices and public interest media. Community radios are community-owned operations that serve areas often considered media dark or whose issues are neglected by urban mainstream media. Across the Asia-Pacific region, there are approximately 1,500 to 1,800 such broadcasters in operation. In recent years, many of these analog broadcasters have felt compelled to migrate towards digital and internet-based platforms, as more and more of their audiences too have moved on. Community broadcasters are increasingly becoming serious users of internet and digital platforms, all in service of local communities. It is therefore long overdue that representatives of the community broadcasting sector have a seat at the table in conversations around internet governance. As a representative of the community radio sector, I will aim to ground today's conversation in ground realities. I'll also encourage our party panelists to share their insights in ways that are accessible to both technical and non-technical audiences, so that everyone participating can take away something meaningful from this session. Now, let me briefly walk you through the structure of this session. In the first round, we'll begin by exploring what inclusive and sustainable connectivity means conceptually and practically. In the next round, we'll turn to concrete examples of connectivity efforts in practice drawn from different sectors and geographies. And in the last round, we will explore what sustainability looks like in practice, both in terms of infrastructure and meaningful use. For each round, I'll be inviting 1 or 2 speakers to share their insights I'll introduce them individually as they come forward to speak. Following the discussion, we'll have time to take questions and comments from the audience. With this background, I would now like to open the first round, in which I'm inviting Dr. Devesh Tyagi of the National Internet Exchange of India, NIXI, to help us understand inclusive and sustainable connectivity in the context of our discussion today, with the main reference point centered around his work in India and in relation to internet exchange points. Dr. Devesh Tyagi is a visionary leader driving India's digital transformation as the CEO of NIXI. Under his leadership, NIXI is strengthening India's internet infrastructure, promoting digital inclusivity, and ensuring a secure and scalable digital ecosystem. His strategic focus includes expanding the adoption of .in domains, managing the NIR, and fostering internet governance policies that align with India's vision of digital self-reliance. Further, he is spearheading initiatives to enhance internet peering, local content hosting, and IPv6 adoption, making India's digital backbone more resilient and efficient, while actively involved in promoting IXPs to improve internet accessibility and performance nationwide. Welcome, Dr. Tyagi. My question to you is as follows. Under your leadership, the National Internet Exchange of India has played a major role in building the core infrastructure that keeps India's internet running efficiently. You have set up many internet exchange points in different parts of the country. These exchange points help make sure that when people in India use internet, the data stays within India instead of going through several other countries, servers in other countries. However, in developing countries like India and even Nepal, building internet exchange points in underserved areas can be both expensive and complicated due to infrastructure and regulatory challenges. At the same time, it is important that smaller ISPs and rural networks can connect to these exchange points in a way that's both affordable and sustainable. From your experience, how can we strike that balance between expanding this vital infrastructure and ensuring it works for smaller local players too? Dr. Tyagi, you have about 4 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Suman. Distinguished colleagues, friends, and the participants. It is my honor to be part of closing plenary initiative of this year Asia Pacific Regional IGF. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizer for their exceptional dedication and flexibility in making this event possible in a virtual format. We recognize and appreciate the rapid transition to an online setting, enabling the continuation of vital discussion despite significant challenges. The community resilience and commitment to collaboration have ensured that the engagement goals remain on track even in these testing times. Now coming back to the question, it must be highlighted that bridging the digital divide is one of the urgent challenges to be tackled in this particular era. Connectivity is not only a technical matter, but it has definitely a very deep social and economic consequences. The Asia Pacific region, which is home to nearly 61% of world's population, we struggle with an unequal internet access. I would like to state that this uneven growth, with some communities moving quickly ahead while many others are left behind. And it shows us that how much more we need to do in very short span of time. NIXI, my organization, has been in existence for over 22 years with the objective to connect everyone with the internet. And we want to make every citizen to be part of digital ecosystem with ensuring accessibility, affordability, and sustainability. I'm happy to share with you that we feel that we are very successful in that after the implementation of Digital India program by Government of India in 2015. we had progressed a lot, and world is looking towards us for the digital solution which we had put in place for our citizens. And I would like to share with you that IXP, that Internet Exchange Point, is one of the core functions which we established throughout the country. And this we do through various internet service providers that are a prime part of all of us. The content delivery networks with the network providers provide like a single landing point, which is working in close association with other stakeholders to engage with diversified carriers, facilitating a seamless flow of passengers, often to data packets traveling in most networks. Keeping the analogy in mind, one can see operational aspect of IXPs. They enable the internet accessibility, also the affordability to the end user. They also work by reducing operational cost and support network peering by reducing latency and paving way for other territorial initiatives, including cybersecurity, boosting and legitimizing the national digital presence for the end users. I would like to share with you all that through this model, we are very successful, and almost most of the IXPs which are operational give their accountability to us that we had made that possible for the internet access. So through this, what we do is that we work in the PPP mode, and we provide the P2P connectivity free of cost to IXPs for providing the internet access to everyone across the country. As of now, we are having 78 exchange points across the country, and which are helping our citizens to gain internet access in a very affordable and as per their specific needs. So we would like to say that we generally try to provide a balance between the expanding the vital infrastructure and ensure that it works for the smaller local player too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tyagi. If you'll permit me, I'd like to engage a little bit further with you. Do you think, Dr. Tyagi, if inclusive connectivity also requires capacity building, for example, helping smaller ISPs, community networks, or local governments understand how to connect and benefit from exchange points?
Right.
Are there any examples or lessons from India where support systems have made a difference?
Right.
We are basically referring to hardware, so not only to hardware support, but also to human, institutional, and policy enablers that allow infrastructure to be used effectively and equitably. Dr. Tyagi, could you very briefly comment on that?
Yeah. So first and foremost thing which I want to share with you that all our exchange points are IPv6 enabled. And through that, we are providing infrastructure to all the ISPs. Another thing which we had started is that we had started 2 capacity building courses with us. One we called it as IP Guru, and another is called as NIXI Academy. So through NIXI Academy, we create the different related courses for different our end consumer to be consumed. And through IP Guru, we provide capacity building for the ISPs to implement IPv6 throughout their network. So these are the 2 initiatives which we have taken, and they are helping a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. You have highlighted how infrastructure like internet exchange points must be backed by smart policies, shared models, and affordability so that smaller ISPs and rural networks aren't left behind. India's experience shows us how developing countries can localize traffic while supporting smaller players. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Now that we have that foundational perspective, let's move on to the next segment, where we look at how these ideas of inclusive and sustainable connectivity play out in real-world efforts across different contexts. In particular, we'll hear from those working on the ground to bring connectivity to places where access is still far from guaranteed. My first guest in this round is Mr. Binay Bohra. Binay Bohra is a computer engineer and the founder and managing director of Vianet Communications, one of Nepal's leading internet service providers. With over 2 decades of experience in the ICT sector, he has played a pivotal role in expanding broadband connectivity across Nepal. Binay has also served as the chairman of the Nepal Internet Exchange and as the president of Internet Service Providers Association of Nepal, contributing to key policy dialogues and industry reforms. His work focuses on digital inclusion, technology-driven transformation, and building sustainability broadband infrastructure for Nepal's future. Welcome, Binay. My question to you is as follows. In countries like Nepal, there is a clear mismatch between what people earn and the cost of digital devices like smartphones or computers. Even when people manage to afford devices, access to internet, especially reliable high-speed access, is still a major challenge. In many rural or remote areas, basic communication infrastructure is either weak or simply not there. In this context, and as someone leading one of Nepal's major ISP, how do you see these realities shaping your efforts to expand connectivity into underserved regions? What are the biggest hurdles? Is it financial, technical, or regulatory that you face when trying to reach these areas? And what kinds of innovative approaches or partnerships do you think are needed to expand such expansion, both viable and sustainable? Like the previous speaker, you also have approximately 4 minutes to respond, Vinay. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Very honored to be here amongst the panelists, esteemed panelists. And thank you for your question. So I've been here on this, working on this industry for now a couple of decades. So I've got a lot of experience and I have seen the ups and downs of the internet industry here as well in terms of connectivity and broadband. So we started from the narrow band more than 2 decades ago. Now broadband is also amongst the far-flung areas of Nepal right now. So that's the success story. Success story is 40% or more of Nepal is now fiberized. So in urban centers and in some rural areas, we have fiber internet, and that is the good news. And among South Asia and even Asia Pacific region, I think we have one of the highest wired broadband internet access. And so that has spawned a lot of good things in terms of what's going on in Nepal's connectivity. But however, like you said, there are several challenges that still exists. And one of the things that is coming from very poor country with very poor resources and ability to pay, the purchasing power. So of course, there's going to be a challenge. In urban areas, internet is widely available from many service providers. The competition is quite heated and the prices have come down very low. So Nepal enjoys one of the lowest internet costs in the world, not only in Asia. So that's the good news. But we understand that there are a lot of areas in Nepal that is still very, very poor. And the decision to spend money on internet is also a challenge for them. So with respect to that, how have we worked on the rural side? So that is something I'd like to, so you've mentioned things like what are the hurdles here in terms of regulatory challenges, in terms of financial challenges for the ISPs or service providers, or what is the technical challenges out there as the terrain is so difficult. We have the Himalayan kind of terrain where accessibility is such a problem. Then we've got hills, transportation, moving the logistics and all that is a big challenge, of course. So financially, if we look at it, and having talked to many other service providers, the consensus is that the viability of ISPs or the service providers going alone is not something that is giving you the ROI in short time. It may take 7 to 10 years to get returns on your investments. So what must happen is for that challenge to be overcome, we need to make sure that the government is also helping in terms of the partnership we talk about to make it sustainable out there, to have incentives to go to those villages where there's a problem. So in terms of finances, of course, we always talk about, long-term loans where, you could service the loans in a long-term because of the ROI. You could talk about low interest rates so that there's incentive for ISPs to go there. So that is the kind of a financial incentives that is required for success. And we've seen time and again how projects have failed in rural areas. That is one thing in financial aspects. And in terms of, let's say, technically, you see, I mentioned that it's a very challenging areas out there. So therefore, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you've got all kinds of technologies helping, hybrid model. Like you have the satellite internet that's coming up. You hear about the satellite internet that's going to come from Elon Musk satellites. That could be one thing that could be helpful, which is not here, unfortunately, yet. And as ISPs, there's been misconception that we may not welcome such a thing. But for rural areas, that's something that we welcome with open hands. That let them come in, let them serve the areas where we cannot go. So that's one thing. And the other part is we want local participation and government help in terms of infra sharing. Regulators also need to step in with sharing the infrastructure, because we cannot replicate infra from different providers there. So one infra shared by all service providers is good. And the other very encouraging that is happening right now is the local resellers are available, local service providers, small providers that has 200 connectivities, 500 connections out there. So those things should be encouraged. Right now, there is no clear regulatory guideline on that, how resellers should operate. But there are resellers now in village level that operate and are very helpful because they are locals. They will take care of their local networks with the help of big ISPs from outside their areas. So these are the three things I see, and there are other things that I'll talk about later. But I think currently these are the challenges we face, and that's how we should work. Thank you.
Binay, thank you so much. Actually, I also meant to ask you if you see any value in local partnerships, such as with municipalities, cooperatives, or even schools in extending internet access into hard-to-reach areas. But I think you have already responded to that in an affirmative. So thank you very much, Binay. You have given us a well-grounded view on the real challenges faced in countries like Nepal, where income disparities and difficult terrain make traditional connectivity models hard to scale. It's encouraging to hear how local innovation, strategic partnerships, and community engagement are starting to shift the equation towards more inclusive models. So thank you once again.
Okay.
My next guest speaker in this round is Dr. Marie-Lisa M. Dacanay. Dr. Dacanay is the founding president of Institute for Social Entrepreneurship in Asia, ISEA, which promotes the mainstream of community-centered connectivity initiatives as social enterprises towards bridging the digital divide. ISEA is the host for regional coordination in Asia of the Local Networks, LockNet, initiative led by the Association for Progressive Communications and Rhizomatica. Dr. Dacanay has been the focal point for the Social and Community Enterprise constituency of the Asia-Pacific Regional CSO Engagement Mechanism. She was also recognized as Outstanding Social Innovation Thought Leader in 2019 by the World Economic Forum and Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship. Welcome, Dr. Dacanay.
Thank you, Suman.
You recently completed a study showing the social impact and cost effectiveness of community-centered connectivity initiatives, or CCCIS, as social enterprises that are bridging the digital divide. I understand two of the community center connectivity initiatives in the study are located in Asia. Can you briefly share with us what are the community-centered connectivity initiatives and the results of this study? And Dr. Dacanay, may I caution you that you also have 4 minutes or even less. Yeah. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Suman. So what are community-centered connectivity initiatives? As social enterprises within the digital economy, they actually provide connectivity in areas where commercial ISPs don't go. It's the underserved and unserved areas, especially in the rural areas and remote areas of countries. So community-centered connectivity initiatives also provide what we call meaningful connectivity, or connectivity that improves the position, the livelihoods, and the quality of life of marginalized population served. So in the study that we did, we actually included Kasepuhan Chip Tagilar initiated by Common Room in West Java, Indonesia, and another community-centered connectivity initiative we studied was Pathardi, initiated by BAIF in Maharashtra in West India. And both of these CCCIs, or community-centered connectivity initiatives, serve indigenous communities in remote rural villages. So beyond providing internet to these communities in an affordable way, they enable meaningful connectivity by providing services such as digital literacy training, local content production and dissemination, as well as capacity building for locals to not only manage, but also use the internet effectively. And some of the range of social impacts that we noted in this among these community-centered connectivities initiatives studied are improvement in the economic position and condition of community stakeholders. For example, in Indonesia, we noted farmers had better yields from improved capability to use new farming technologies adaptive to climate change because they have integrated traditional practices with new technologies learned through the internet. We also see an increase in the involvement of youth as farmers in these communities. Another social impact is more effective preservation of the cultural identity, heritage, and integrity of the community. And in Kasepuan Chip Tagilar, again in Indonesia, we see the improved capacity for local knowledge preservation and the creation as manifested by more effective documentation of cultural activities and archival records that could be shared with the younger generation. We also noted increased levels and capacities for inclusive human development and community empowerment, so that, for example, in Pathardi in India, tribal women became digitally literate, capable of using digital technology to effectively deliver digital services to the communities themselves. And then we also see the empowerment of the community to own and manage the physical infrastructure for providing internet connectivity. And then lastly, we also saw increased levels and capacities for conservation and development of agricultural and ancestral lands and biodiversity. And in Pathardi, again in India, we saw indigenous seed varieties more systematically preserved, developed, and propagated. And there were more crop varieties and higher yields among farmers. So these are just some of the examples of impacts that we saw in these studies. But the study that we also did showed cost effectiveness of community-centered connectivities initiatives and in bridging the digital divide. We used the technology of social return on investment. And in all of these studies, we saw that they yielded positive social return on investment ratios. No? For every dollar invested, for example, on a year-on-year basis, they were yielding from $1.23 to a high of $8.19. No? So anything above $1, of course, means that there's cost effectiveness. So I think that's my time is up. So my colleague Gomer Padong will be sharing the link to the study that we made in the chat, so that those of you who are interested to find out about the details of our study can learn about it. Thank you.
Dr. Dacanay, thank you very much. But please allow me to indulge you for another minute, a very brief minute.
Yeah.
From your work with grassroots communities on inclusive economic models, how do you think can community-driven connectivity projects build trust and local ownership, especially in areas where people may be skeptical of commercial telecom providers?
Yeah.
Can you comment on this very briefly?
Well, community-centered connectivity initiatives are actually community-owned and community-managed. So they're not outsiders that are coming into the communities, but there are enabling organizations, like in the context of what I shared as examples, Common Room in Indonesia and BAIF in India came into the communities to organize community-centered connectivity initiatives that were owned and managed by the communities themselves.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Dacanay. Your perspective really brings to life the power of community-driven models and social entrepreneurship, especially when mainstream systems are slow or inaccessible. It reminds us that inclusive connectivity isn't just a technical challenge. It is also about enabling ownership, dignity, and voice for underserved communities. Thank you once again. And thank you once again to Binay as well. Now let's turn to our final segment, where we shift the focus to long-term sustainability. The question we'll ask in this round is, what does it really take to make sure connectivity will last? Not just in terms of cables and towers, but in ways that ensure ongoing usefulness, resilience, and inclusiveness. My first guest speaker in this segment is Ms. Sarai F. Tevita, Chief Operations Officer, National University of Samoa, a Samoan ICT professional with over 20 years of ICT experience in Samoa's financial, agriculture, and educational sectors. She currently serves as the Chief Operations Officer at the National University of Samoa, overseeing finance, human resources, ICT, and properties. Former ICT director and two-term president of the Samoa IT Association, she also chaired the Pacific Islands chapter of Internet Society and was an ICANN 78 fellow. She led digital education efforts during COVID-19 and gender-focused ICT research. Recently, Ms. Tevita also led Samoa's lead team in USAID's digital skills assessment and contributed to UNESCAP's rural connectivity strategy. A co-chair of Pacific IGF 2023 to 2025, she remains active in ICT development across Samoa and Pacific region. Welcome, Ms. Tevita. My question to you is as follows. Many Pacific Island countries, including Samoa, face serious challenges when it comes to digital connectivity, such as being geographically isolated, having small populations, and dealing with the high cost of infrastructure like undersea cables or satellite internet. At the same time, the need for reliable and affordable internet for education, health, livelihoods, and disaster response is only growing. So from your perspective, working in both education and ICT sectors, what are some of the realistic, sustainable ways that Pacific countries can improve digital access, especially in outer islands and remote communities? Also, what kinds of partnerships, technologies, or policy changes do you think are most needed to help make this a reality? May I also remind you that you will have about 4 minutes to respond. Over to you, Ms. Tevita.
Thank you, Mr. Suman, for the question, and distinguished panelists, moderator, organizing committee, and attendees of the APrIGF 2025 closing plenary. Talofa and Pacific greetings, and it's 11:05 p.m. here in Samoa, and this is the beauty of the internet connectivity. It's not biased. Hey, however, we still experience challenges from our region. Well, according to the insights by Hamza Hamid, at the Pacific Fiber Conference, August 2025 in Fiji, despite high mobile broadband coverage reaching about 86% of the Pacific population, only around 27% actively use mobile internet, exposing a major usage cap due to affordability, skills, infrastructure limitations. So therefore, to improve the digital access in the Pacific countries, especially in our outer islands and remote communities, it requires realistic and sustainable strategies. We have so many researches and studies that have been done in Samoa as well in the Pacific in defining actionable strategies in connectivities. And one of those is to try to engage with multi-access connectivity, and it's happening now. Combining the fiber optic cables, cellular internet, microwave link, cellular and Wi-Fi technology strategically to deliver resilient, affordable and inclusive access, especially for outer islands and remote areas. Bear in mind here in the Pacific that we are living in an ocean. So most of our setup or the geographical sparse. So this hybrid approach maximizes reach and service reliability. Currently, there is an ongoing discussion for the Pacific IXP. I'm so fortunate to hear from our other colleagues that IXP is one of successful initiatives within their countries. I would like to learn more from them. This Pacific IXP distributes an IXP with the link switch in Fiji, Samoa, and New Zealand. This one will estimate it to cut the internet latency by at least 2 times compared to no Pacific IXP. For information, National University of Samoa is one of the members of the Pacific IXP Committee. One of the approaches in this area is to invest in digital infrastructure. I'm so fortunate again that I've been part of this panel and I've heard some panelists mention that they are heavily invested in the digital infrastructure. This is where the government and development partners must increase funding for broadband infrastructure that is energy efficient, climate resilient, and adapted to local contexts. This is because us here in the Pacific or the Asia-Pacific region, we are prone to natural disasters. Projects like the Asia-Pacific Remote Broadband Internet Cellular Initiative, the Pacific One, it provides vital satellite capacity to cover underserved areas. Some of the Pacific Islands already had this. Starlink connectivity is available in most of the Pacific countries to use for business and personal accessibility. One of the approaches is to empower local communities, and yes, because these are our people living in the outer islands. Through governance and ownership of connectivity projects, it improves sustainability and relevance. Capacity building, including digital literacy tailored to women, older elders, marginalized groups, is essential to enhance meaningful internet use. National University of Samoa offers short-term courses, micro-credential courses, and also as formal education can improve the digital literacy of our people. Lastly, is to design inclusive policy frameworks where policies aiming at affordable access, digital skills development, data protection, cybersecurity as one of the priorities in these days, and gender responsiveness underpinning successful digital inclusion. Regional coordination among Asia-Pacific countries helps harmonize standards and foster cooperation for equitable benefits. So the kind of partnerships that need to assist to make this sustainable connectivity in reality is to collaborate among governments, private sector, regional organizations, and donors. Recently, the National University of Samoa signed a non-disclosure agreement with the Samoa Submarine Cable Company to assist with the internet broadband as well as the digital technologies to upgrade internet within the university. The Pacific Islands digital ecosystem benefits from multilateral coordination for infrastructure sharing and policy alignment. In conclusion, bridging the digital divide in the Asia-Pacific region, especially the Pacific Islands, calls for the combination of multi-technology infrastructure investments, community empowerment, inclusive policies, and strong regional partnerships. These collective efforts sustain a digital future that is accessible, affordable, and equitable for our populations in the region. Thank you for my time, Mr. Suman.
Thank you, Ms. Tevita. Your thoughts help us rethink sustainability in terms of geographical relevance, local affordable access, and meaningful participation. Thank you very much. My next guest speaker in this round is Mr. Toshiaki Tateishi. Mr. Toshiaki Tateishi is the Vice Chairman of Japan Internet Providers Association. In this role, he helps guide Japan's ISP policy, collaboration, and industry standards, especially in areas like network resilience, service quality, and regulatory engagement. His leadership offers insights into how a mature digital infrastructure ecosystem balances innovation, access, and stability, which can offer lessons for Asia-Pacific countries working towards inclusive and sustainable connectivity. Welcome, Toshi-san.
Thank you, Suman.
My question to you is as follows. Japan has developed one of the most advanced and reliable internet infrastructures in the world, supported by a strong public-private collaboration, forward-looking regulation, and a long-term approach to investment and innovation. From your position at JIPA, what lessons from Japan's experience do you think could be useful for countries in the Asia-Pacific that are still working to improve their digital infrastructure? And also, how can these lessons be adapted rather than simply copied to fit in places where resources, skills, or government capacity may be more limited? Kindly limit your response to a maximum of 4 minutes, please. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, and my speech is useful for you. So then, like other island countries, Japan is an island country, and probably you don't know we have more than 6,000 small islands, but most all of them is uninhabited. But we still have more than 300 inhabited island. So very, very small and sometimes very remote, very located in the Pacific Ocean. So historically, I said in the 1990s, during the dial-up era, probably almost all of you don't know about the dial-up. What is dial-up? It was a kind of a facsimile telecommunication at that time. So, but at that time, the government showed very little interest. But however, around 2000, when ADSL service began spreading in urban area, preliminary through private investment, things started to change at that time. So at that time, we all have about 1,000 small local ISP in Japan, and my company is one of them. So the private investment focused on urban areas, but the problem lay in the remote regions around that time. the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications began holding a study group aiming for nationwide balanced broadband deployment, leading the internet access becoming available even in remote areas. Thus, while the government need not subsidize areas receiving private investment without active national investment in remote regions, so this divide would only widen. Although information infrastructure has spread relatively smoothly to the extent Japan's severe population decline is widening the gap between urban and remote areas once again. So maybe in 2 or 3 years, gap is coming wider. So therefore, the government has announced the measures to eliminate Japan's digital divide by regionally distributing data centers and IXPs. As you know, the post-COVID digital transformation, DX, and remote works and online education have accelerated also in Japan. However, the existing infrastructure is inadequate, is not enough for the kind of data exchange. And there is a growing need for faster, higher capacity communication environment now. While fiber optic networks are the most effective infrastructure for the internet, but their construction takes time and is, as you know, is very costly. So therefore, the government aims to eliminate the digital divide by prioritizing the deployment of wireless-based infrastructure first. So while not strictly technology neutral, I believe we should actively adopt cost-effective and useful technologies to build a comfortable communication environment. Furthermore, by exchanging information at forums like the yIGF and other networking events like this, we can prevent the technologies from becoming obsolete too quickly. Additionally, collaboration not only among telecom providers but also with local users can sometimes enable cheaper procurement. In fact, our association, JIPA, has been regional SPs frequently exchange information, preventing them from purchasing odd communication equipment and allowing them to procure at a lower price. So now we still have more than 100 small SPs, local SPs in Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toshi-chan. It's very funny that you mentioned dial-up connection, because if you know dial-up, that basically reveals your age. And I must confess that I know dial-up and I also used it. So that's very interesting. But on a serious note, thank you very much, Toshi-san. It's enlightening to see how even countries like with advanced infrastructure are actively working to keep your systems resilient, inclusive, and responsive, and that long-term solutions require constant adaptation, even in major digital economies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now we'll open the floor for some interactions. I think we have enough time to do two things. Firstly, among our panelists, we'll have a cross exchange. Some of the panelists may have comments or questions for one another, and afterwards we'll turn to the audience questions and reflections. So panelists, please feel free to speak very, very briefly in 30 seconds if you have any comments. The floor is open. Okay, since I do not see any hands raised and there are no comments from the panelists, let me take the initiative and engage Dr. Dacanay. Sorry to victimize you, Dr. Dacanay, but building on what others have shared about infrastructure and policy, I wonder in your experience, what risks do we run when grassroots or community-led connectivity models are not included in national digital strategies? Could exclusion actually undermine sustainability in the long run?
Well, yes. Actually, in the Philippines, we have been lobbying for the removal of the congressional franchise for internet service providers, and we have successfully done that already. And now we are in the process of trying to push that community-centered connectivity initiatives be recognized and supported as players that would help government bridge the digital divide in remote areas. No? So I think it's critical for governments to really recognize these social enterprises, these community-centered connectivity initiatives as purposeful, social mission-driven enterprises that would really want to reach the underserved and unserved areas, not only in a way of providing infrastructure, but also in providing what I've described as meaningful connectivity, meaning to say that the internet use results in improvements in their livelihood, in their quality of life, no? Just like the examples I gave you in terms of impact. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Dacanay. Thank you for being such a sport. So now let's take questions from the audience. Very, very briefly, we don't have much time. If there is any question from the audience, for this, I would like to request Edmon Chung from the APrIGF Secretariat to pick 1 or 2 questions from the audience, if there is any. Over to you, Edmon.
Edmon here. So far, we don't see any questions. So another call for questions from anyone. You can use the chat text, or you can use the Q&A tab, or put your hand up.
Okay, we'll just wait for another 10 seconds. If there are none, then we'll move ahead.
There is a hand up. There is a hand up in the room.
Okay, so we can take that question. Please go ahead. And if the question is meant for any one particular speaker, then please name that speaker as well. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question for Dr. Dacanay also. In the development of the CCCI in the Philippines, how do you resolve the question of development of digital skills in the villages and rural areas, the skills needed by the people who actually run these initiatives? Do you train them yourself, or do you bring in people from outside with the skills?
Well, we do a combination of both. For example, right now, because the experience, for example, in Indonesia is more advanced than in the Philippines, we actually bring in people who help us in what we call boot camps, where we try to where we try to do capacity building of local players in a way that is actually useful and relevant to their level of education that they have. So we are, for example, sponsoring the setting up of boot camps where we tackle both the technical skills required, as well as the community-based organizing required for us to develop these community-centered connectivity initiatives. But we use both external and internal capacities depending on the context.
Thank you, Dr. Dacanay. Edmon, can we take another one quick question and an answer, maybe both within a minute, if there is a question there?
Yep, there are 2 questions that I received. One is submarine cable fiber infrastructure a sustainable internet model? Do you want me to stop at the second?
Yeah, let's stop over there, Edmon, because I think we are running out of time, and I imagine this question is for Ms. Tevita. Ms. Tevita, would you like to respond to this question, or shall we make it open for any of the panelists to take this one?
What's the question again, Edmon?
Yeah, is submarine cable fiber infrastructure a sustainable internet model?
Yes, from the Pacific, yes, it's a sustainable internet model for the Pacific, given that most of our islands are isolated. I mentioned in my talk that there's a combined method to use, both fiber, wireless, satellite. Those are technologies they need to use so that bridging this digital divide. But definitely the fiber connectivity is very reliable here in the islands.
Thank you, Ms. Tevita. Thank you very much. Thank you, Edmon. Thank you. I think we'll have to stop there and move ahead with the session now towards the conclusion. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, once again. Thanks to everyone for the brief but a very interesting questions and answers as well. To wrap things up with some sharp takeaways, we'll now move into a rapid round. Each panelist will just have about 30 seconds to answer this question. So this is for all panelists. You'll have to respond within 30 seconds, please, or even less if you can. If you could recommend one priority action in the next 2 years to accelerate inclusive and sustainability connectivity in the Asia-Pacific region, what would it be and why? Please feel free to, or shall I just invite Dr. Tyagi? Would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you. So the future of digital governance is basically shaped by all the stakeholders working together, and digital inclusiveness is very much required. I am very much sure that the digital transformation which every organization or in a sense everybody is going currently will definitely be paved way for future inclusiveness of all the citizens in all the internet related e-governance things. So I feel that we should be satisfying ourselves that digital transformation is very much required as the way ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. Any another panelist would like to take this up? Binay, can I call upon you to answer this question very briefly in 30 seconds?
Yeah, thank you very much. So for me, as a service provider, private operator, it is not only for us to go to rural areas to do digital divide, close the gap. It is for the government, which is the most important entity out there, to sort of understand and change the mindset that it is not just a business for ISPs or telecoms to go to rural areas. It is for the government to change their mindset to work in a coordinated manner amongst themselves, because it is the services that they deliver through online, through digital tools, that is going to help the rural communities and bridge the gap between the rural and the urban population. And that is what is missing today. And I feel that this coordination is not there. That is why it's not sustainable at times. It is not, the ownership is not there at times. The skin in the game is not there at times. So I feel that coordinated effort and that mindset has to change, that it is a government strategy, it is a government policy that has to be done from all sectors of the government, be it education, be it health, so whatever it is, it has to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Binay. Thank you very much. Any other panelists wants to take the question?
I can.
Okay.
I think my pitch would be for governments also to put in place policies and programs to recognize and support, as well as incentivize, community-centered connectivity initiatives as partners in bridging the digital divide. And we'd like to invite everyone to join us in our Technological Innovations for Sustainable Development platform in our efforts to promote and mainstream community-centered connectivity initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dacanay. Ms. Tevita, did I see you raising your hand? Did you want to take this question?
Yes,
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my 2 cents of recommendation for this question is that a multi-access strategy acknowledging the digital connectivity must be layered, resilient, and flexible, and also considering the community-based connectivity, given that we've heard this evening or this morning or this afternoon the importance of having the IXP within a country or within a region. This will help us here in the outer islands get reliable internet and keeps our traffic local. Hence, with these cybersecurity issues that it's harder for us to manage and administer, but having that available on island will be another good example for us. So bear with digital literacy, keep educating our people, because everything's online now. And generations will come after generations. So we need to keep this digital literacy available all the time to ensure that our people are safe when they surf online, and gives us more opportunities if we are keeping our traffic local and think about the future. So integrated model for the Asia Pacific region will build inclusive and dependable digital networks. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very interesting. Toshi-san, would you like to take up this question as well?
Thank you very much.
In 30 seconds, please. Thank you.
Okay, it's okay. So I also we need a environment conscious network, and it is needed. How can I say? Efficient way of networking. So she mentioned about the IXPs should be distributed appropriate the place appropriate network. I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the session. I would like to close the session by thanking our distinguished panelists and an equally distinguished audience for a deeply engaging discussion. We have traversed definitions, concrete initiatives, and meaningful deliberations on long-term sustainability. From Dr. Tyagi's emphasis on keeping data local and reducing latency, to Dr. Dacanay's insight into how social enterprises and community networks can bridge digital divides, to Binay Bohra's practical perspective from Nepal's connectivity ecosystem, to Ms. Sarai F. Tevita's regional vantage from Samoa, and to Toshi-san's voice from Japan's institutional and policy landscapes, we have received a rich set of perspectives. Some of the recurring themes that have emerged from this session are the need for local agency, resilience in infrastructure, multi-stakeholder partnerships, financial sustainability, and contextual adaptation. As we close, I appeal to each one of you, panelists and members of the audience, to carry forward at least one actionable insight from this session into your own work, whether that's advocacy, deployment, policy, or community organizing. Let us not allow this to be simply a conversation, but a stepping stone to impact. From Kathmandu, on behalf of my organization, AMARC-Asia Pacific, I extend thanks to the organizers and fellow co-hosts of APrIGF for trusting me with moderating this session, and to all of you for your time, engagement, and ideas. May the ideas shared today ripple out across the Asia Pacific. With that, I officially close this panel. Thank you, safe connectivity, and back to Ashirvad ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suman ji. A really insightful and wonderful session. I could kind of go on and hear you for hours and hours, but again, we all have limitations. Time is the constraint for now. So without delaying, I would like to move on to the next part of the closing ceremony. That would be the concluding remarks. So today for concluding remarks, we have Rupesh Shresta from the host team. Edmon would be here on behalf of APrIGF Secretariat. Our closing keynote would be given by Chengetai Masango. Thank you so much for your time. He's the head of United Nations Secretariat for IGF. And then we'd have our own Guevarra, the co-chair of Asia Pacific Youth IGF, the future of the Asia Pacific. And with that being said, I would move to Rupesh Shresta for his concluding remarks. Rupesh, the floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Well, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, friends, and fellow internet governance enthusiasts, my name is Rupesh Shresta, and I'm part of the host steering committee from Nepal. As we bring this Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum 2025 to close, although virtually, I want to convey my profound appreciation alongside a touch of disappointment regarding our inability to meet in person. My initial and most profound thanks are reserved for APrIGF leadership and Secretariat. The seamless coordination you provided during the preparatory stages were exemplary, ensuring a process that was both collaborative and profoundly meaningful. Amrita Chaudhary, Ashirvad Tripathi, and Aris Ignatio's coordination was memorable, and the Secretariat from .Asia to manage this whole event online in such a short notice is very commendable. Thanks to Edmon, Chung, Jennifer, Rani, Christine, Pio, and others your tireless commitment is very much appreciated. My local host steering committee members, Mr. Ramesh Sharma from Department of Information Technology, Government of Nepal, Nirzala Sharma from UNESCO, Ashirvad Tripathi from Internet Society Nepal chapter, Suman Basnet from AMARC-Asia Pacific, our member secretary Suraj Adhikari, and my board members from Internet Exchange of Nepal. Your unwavering commitment and support were truly unmatched. I'm also immensely grateful to our own local host secretariat, including our incredible tech team and dedicated volunteers. Your commitment has been a backbone to this event. I want to extend a special thanks to Sapna Shahi, Kamala Adhikari, Akriti Gautam, Anand Gautam, Pranjal Timilsina, and the Secretariat, and to Sudeep Tamrakar and Lokendra Kesi from the tech team, who had contributed tirelessly for this event. I recall with gratitude the support and trust we received from all stakeholders, including Government of Nepal. This support was a significant boost for us to prepare this round of APrIGF. We truly missed the many opportunities that an in-person gathering would have afforded us. We are especially thankful to our sponsors, including Internet Society, ISOC Foundation, APNIC Foundation, ICANN, TWNIC, ADA, JPRS, and others who contributed so generously. I also wish to acknowledge the excellent work of all the committees, especially the Program Committee, Fellowship Committee, Event Management Committee. The effort of your co-chairs and members were truly praiseworthy and instrumental in shaping the rich discussion that we had on access and inclusion, innovation and emerging technology, security and trust, resilience, and sustainability. Now, I must address the unfortunate shift of the virtual event, which it is with sincere apology that I acknowledge that our inability to host you in person, despite all the extensive preparations that we have made. We understand that the unprecedented local circumstances in Nepal drove the decision of the APrIGF leadership to make this change to organize the event online. The law and order situation has since significantly improved and now very normal in Nepal. The successful hosting of Asia Pacific School of Internet Governance, APsIG 2025, in person in Kathmandu with about 30+ foreign participants reflects that we indeed have a very safe and cordial environment in Nepal. We look forward to welcome you physically in the future. Finally, I express my sincere thanks to all the MSC members for trusting us to host APrIGF in Nepal. Even though it was unfortunately shifted to a virtual format for the second time, we strongly believe that, and we are committed to hosting APrIGF in person in a very near future. We eagerly await the day we can welcome you all to Nepal. Before I end, I want to thank a very important person who driving APrIGF host steering committee, Mr. Baburam Aryal. He could not be part of the program due to unfortunate family reason. He has been the most active and instrumental force for all the efforts to host APrIGF in Nepal. And I want to thank Mr. Baburam and the Internet Governance Institute on behalf of our steering committee and from the community. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rupesh. Thank you so much for wonderful words. Indeed, it would have been such an honor if everybody could come to Nepal and we could kind of celebrate after this closing as well. Nevertheless, I think we had quite a successful APrIGF, very productive one. And thanks to .Asia and our Secretariat. So wonderful Secretariat. Edmon, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ashwad. Sorry for speaking fast as I have much to say, very little time, but I have given my script to both the scribes and sign language interpreters ahead of time. Hope that works. Thank you once again for sticking through to the end of APrIGF 2025 online in Nepal time. At .Asia, we are humbled to continue to gain your trust to serve as the Secretariat. Reporting on some statistics as usual, APrIGF 2025 featured 32 sessions, including 3 town halls. We supported a total of 16 breakout rooms, sign language support in 4 sessions, and well over 100 speakers, moderators, and panelists. A total of 1,200 registered from across 66 economies, with about 54% male, 44% female, and 2.2% identified as non-binary, other, or undeclared. For stakeholder groups, there were roughly 20% each from academia, civil society, and youth. 10% each from technical community and private sector, and then about 8% from government and intergovernmental organizations. We recorded a total of over 1,600 logins over the 4 days here, and with an average of over 50 checking in for each session, plus 4 local hubs. For the fellowship program, 27 were selected with a roughly 50-50 gender spread coming from 27 economies and a good balance between stakeholder groups. I should also thank the 47 mentors who supported the program and take this opportunity to thank also our international sponsors once again, APnIC Foundation and ISOC Foundation, as well as the yIGF Secretariat for their steadfast support. But this year, as Rupesh mentioned, the unfortunate highlight is, of course, the change that had to happen. Now, please actually join me in a round of virtual applause, actually, with our reaction icons to PO on the .Asia Secretariat team for her heroic effort in working with all the fellows through the transition and the difficult process of refunds, rearrangements, and everything. Finally, we are most grateful to our hosts and co-hosts from Nepal, as we really hope that next year we could return to Kathmandu on site for APrIGF 2026. This year, with the overarching theme being the future of multi-stakeholder digital governance in Asia Pacific, let me end by re-emphasizing .Asia's commitment in walking alongside the community to fully support the APrIGF and the Asia Pacific community in a bottom-up, inclusive, consensus-based, democratic, multi-stakeholder driven approach to internet and digital governance into the future. I hope you also can see how we walk our talk with the entire .Asia team engaged here in supporting this year's APrIGF together with the MSG. On that, special thanks, of course, to Ronnie, who led the entire effort as a newcomer to the community. Ronnie, great work. And Christine for returning for a reprise. But also Jen, who wears many hats and excelling in each of them for us. And Jenna, who leads our efforts to support the yIGF, both of whom split themselves virtually also to join the WSIS consultations earlier. And especially Kelvin, whom you might not have seen, but is the tech pillar behind the scenes across all the sessions. I'm more than proud with the team's work. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edmond, and the whole .Asia team. So next, we would move to the closing keynote speech by our guest of honor, Chengetai. The mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Ashwad. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, friends, it is a great honor to join you at the closing of the 16th Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum. At the onset, I would like to congratulate the multi-stakeholder steering group, APrIGF Secretariat, .Asia, the local organizing team from the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, and all the session organizers and participants for their extraordinary dedication and flexibility. During the past 4 days, you have given us an extraordinary platform for internet governance discussion. This is even more impressive knowing that you had to shift to an online format. I would also like to acknowledge the role of the remote hubs across the region, which enabled communities to participate meaningfully in an organized manner. A powerful example of how digital tools can sustain multi-stakeholder engagement and cooperation, even in times of uncertainty. Throughout these days, we have witnessed deep, diverse, and forward-looking discussions under the theme, The Future of Multi-Stakeholder Digital Governance in the Asia Pacific. The sessions covered an impressive range of issues, many offering innovative and refreshing perspectives, from AI for justice and digital preparedness in disaster management, to the role of universal service funds in closing access gaps. These conversations reflect the maturity of this community and its ability to link global challenges with regional and global realities. And you have again demonstrated that the Asia-Pacific region is a cornerstone of the world's digital transformation, home to some of the fastest growing digital economies and technological innovation hubs. It also encompasses small island developing states, landlocked developing countries, and communities still facing deep connectivity and capacity challenges. This diversity makes the Asia-Pacific both dynamic and complex, and the region that embodies the full spectrum of the digital experience, from frontier innovation to first-time connectivity. By applying the multi-stakeholder approach to address these diverse digital realities, this forum gives hope that together we can close the digital divide and ensure that responsible, accountable, and ethical innovation benefits everyone. The IGF has witnessed the strength of your regional collaboration before. The past two editions of the Global IGF were hosted at the Far East and West of Asia, when Saudi Arabia and Japan hosted the IGF. These meetings and active participation of the Asia-Pacific community throughout have demonstrated the region's remarkable capacity for innovation, inclusion, and leadership in shaping the global digital agenda. And you brought again that spirit in the 20th IGF held in June this year in Norway. As we look ahead, we stand at a pivotal moment for our shared digital future. Later this year, the United Nations General Assembly will undertake the 20-year review of the World Summit on the Information Society. The WSIS Plus 20 is a milestone opportunity to reflect on 2 decades of progress in governing digital technologies and to chart the path for the next phase of the global internet governance. I encourage all of you to stay actively engaged in this process and to ensure that the Asia-Pacific region experience, insights, and leadership continue to enrich and guide the global conversation. And of course, the IGF and its intersessional work is eager to receive your inputs and ensure the perspectives from your respective region inform the global discourse. Thank you once again, and I look forward to our cooperation continuing.
Thank you, Chengetai, for this wonderful words. And I know it's not just word, but I've seen you tirelessly work for the community in IGF. So thank you so much for that as well. So next, we're moving towards Guevarra, the co-chair of Asia Pacific Youth IGF. Be, the floor is yours. Rock it.
Thanks so much, Ashwad. Here comes the youth again, everyone. Oh, brother. But thank you for always giving the youth a spot to speak here. Hi, everyone. This is Bea from yIGF. I'd first like to say thank you to the APrIGF 2025 team, the captioners, interpreters, and the local hosts. May an event be fully online, on-site, or both. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of helping hands. So kudos to everyone. And my first time speaking actually for APrIGF was for the opening ceremony for APrIGF 2021 virtual, which was also hosted by Nepal. And now I'm here for the closing ceremony, APrIGF 2025 virtual, hosted by Nepal once again. Full circle moment. Definitely have to visit Nepal one day. But really thank you, all of you for willingly listening to what I and my fellow youths have to say for over the past 4 days. There was a lot of youths and a lot of youth sessions this time around. I know it can sometimes feel like we sound like parrots, repeating the same things over and over, meaningful inclusion, youth participation, capacity building. I get it. But we say it again and again because we truly care. We're passionate about this space. The internet is basically our second home, sometimes even our only home if you've seen our screen time, right? But this week through yIGF, we had such an eventful experience. We gathered over 20 speakers, 2 local hubs, and more than 150 participants from across the region. We held 4 incredible sessions that sparked important conversations. We had meet up with industry experts, which focused on designing equal futures for youth, AI, and the path to digital inclusion. We had a panel discussion on power, platforms, and participation, reclaiming our digital selves. We also had the third IGF 2025 Youth Track Workshop on age verification and social media regulation, and the APAC Youth Leaders Dialogue, which is on co-creating safe digital futures through intergenerational action. And that session, the APAC Youth Leaders Dialogue, is a session that we started 3 years ago to help youth across the Asia Pacific connect, to collaborate, and really amplify our shared voices. And seeing it grow each year really shows that the relationships we build in this space truly matter. Each session that we had showed the depth of what youth can bring to the table, not just energy or enthusiasm, but insights, ideas, and action. Every year, yIGF reminds me why I look forward to APrIGF. I mean, ever since I was a teenager, actually. This year felt especially meaningful and a year of hope, I'd like to say, as we worked with youth from across the Asia Pacific to co-create our WSIS Plus 20 APAC Youth Statement. It's a small but powerful mark of how far we've come. And yes, I know I won't be youth forever. We won't be youth forever, though I'm holding on to that title for as long as I can. Not exactly looking for my next birthday, but kidding. But I do hope that before my colleagues and I eventually, quote unquote, retire from this space, we leave something meaningful, something that says that we were here and we helped shape the internet we all share. The truth is, we're all still growing, we make mistakes, we learn and we unlearn, and I'm deeply thankful to everyone here who continues to guide and support the youth. Because this internet governance, this community building, it's never a one-way effort, it's a two-way bridge. We, the youth, we're here to listen to you truly, but we also hope that you'll continue to listen to us. We're not just the future, we're part of whatever is happening right now. And we're not here to replace you, but to work with you. Let us help, let us contribute, and please continue to support us, especially in sustaining your local youth initiatives. I like to say that yIGF is not just a one-day event, it's a commitment to empower, to mentor, and to build continuity in this community. I'll be honest, sometimes it's scary being in this room. Many of you have been in this space for years, even decades, and sometimes we, the youth, feel like we're just trying to find our seat at that metaphorical table, or at least a seat near a power outlet if this was in real life. But every time we're welcomed by one of you here, every time someone says, hey, what do you think? It matters. It gives us courage to say, to speak up, and to grow. And yes, sometimes we sound like we're complaining, but I promise again, it comes from a place of care. I always think of it like this. When people first complained about slow internet speeds, we didn't silence them. We built faster networks. When people complained about bad interfaces, we didn't ignore them. We improved usability. We started thinking about people with disabilities, about those in rural areas, and about making the internet more accessible for everyone. So really, complaints, when listened to, can become the starting point for innovation. But of course, complain moderately, folks. We don't want to give the policymakers a heart attack, right? But I've learned that in this life, and especially in this internet governance space, that you can't do it alone. You need people, you need collaboration, and it's okay to ask for help, to share ideas, even when you don't fully agree with someone's opinion in this space, because that's exactly where new ideas are born, in the space between our differences. Each of us here brings something unique, something the world needs, and I just want to say that our best today is what helps us to do even better tomorrow. So as we close this year's APrIGF, I hope we all continue to share this responsibility to make the internet safe, open, inclusive, and truly collaborative. Keep building with us and learning with us, and maybe even laughing with us, because if there's one thing that I've learned from the years of being the youth in the room, it's that we're all still students of this digital world, just at different levels. But thank you so much, and I hope to see all of you again, maybe with fewer emails in the next few weeks, but eventually, let's keep the conversation going and the collaboration growing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bia. As Rani said, I have to quote Rani, the queen of this event. Well said, Bia. So well said, Bia. Thank you so much. Youth IGF has been a big plus for us, and we learn a lot from you. Even in the session of youth, I could learn a lot from you. And that's how IGF works, when everybody comes on the same plane and we just discuss things and share our perspective. That's where, when we make decision, we take time to take a decision. But when that decision is there, it's a stable one, and it's for the betterment of society. So that being said, we're almost at the end of this APrIGF. It's making me a little emotional, but nevertheless, we will continue the discussion. So I'm sure that I'm gonna meet everybody again, though I could not meet you this time. However, before ending it, I would like to assure our commitment in ensuring APrIGF remains truly accessible to all, especially those who have historically been marginalized. I think this year we have had a very good outcome throughout the forum. I know that the IGF this year has already happened, but we are going to share our synthesis document with the IGF. I'm sure Chengetai will make sure that those voices are heard, and we'll also submit it to the WSIS plus 20 process. We've also submitted the intervention on behalf of APrIGF through the webinar we conducted through the WSIS plus 20 working group. So yes, we are making our voices heard, but I think persistence is the key here, and we'll continue engaging in the process. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to His Excellency, Mr. Ekitela Lokale, and Her Excellency Ms. Suela Yanina, the co-facilitators of WSIS plus 20 review process, for supporting APrIGF, coming to our sessions and listening to our voices. Chengetai and the whole UNDESA and UNIGF team for making sure throughout the years that our voices are heard. I would like to thank the local host, of course, because we acknowledge your effort. We are looking forward, finger crossed, though we need to cross my fingers, but we are looking forward to visiting you in Nepal soon. We do acknowledge your efforts, and at this moment, I would also like to acknowledge the efforts made by Mr. Babram Arial, the host, and I would like to express on behalf of APrIGF my heartfelt condolences to him and his family in this tiring time. Our supporters, ISOC Foundation, IGF-SA, APNIC, you guys have been supporting us so much, and thank you so much. I hope we look forward to your continued support, and I'm sure you will do that. We've been working together for years. You've been doing that. Our Secretariat, the showstoppers. Behind the scene, you've been immensely great. Edmond, Jane, Christine, everyone in the Secretariat team, and in your first year, Rani, the Queen. I really want to clap you. You really deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. You've been helping us transition to this virtual event so smoothly, working tirelessly throughout the day, and at the evening when I talk with you, you still have your calm voice to talk. So you are our backbone, and we will continue to look for you for our Secretariat support. And my team, teamwork makes dream work, right? So my team in the MSG, the events committee, Bia, she is there in the events committee as well, Cheryl. The drafting committee, where we bring our outcome, that committee is still working. Drafting, thank you so much. I also request everyone to support our drafting committee by putting your inputs in the synthesis document. But that's the final way that our voice will be heard. And there will be a record of this as well through the synthesis document. PC Program Committee, Dr. Gimire and Joyce. It's a wonderful program the committee created. Thank you so much for that. It was really insightful. The Fellowship Committee and mentors. What a good batch of fellow did we get. Even virtually, they were so active, they were so learning, and in the fellows presentation session, I was learning a lot from there. We really have a good bunch of fellows, and you need to come to MSG. You need to continue working in this process. You need to join MSD. So I request you through this platform to join the MSG. For anything, you can contact me, the leadership team, or the Secretariat. But we want you in our team. We want you to join the multi-stakeholder group and make the voices even stronger. The WSIS plus 20 working group and your webinars. That team has done a very hard work, and I think it was very timely considering the current situation with UNJ coming around in December. So thank you so much, the working group on Voices Plus 20. It's because of you that we could collect voices before APrIGF in the Voices Plus 20 process, and we could submit it to the Voices Plus 20 review process. So thank you for that. And our fellows, you were wonderful fellows. Please join the MSG and let's continue the discussion. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm sure we're gonna communicate more and more again. And to all the participants, our speakers and moderators, without your presence here, without your intervention, this forum would not have been as productive as it has been now. So thank you so much. I hope you will come and continue engaging in this community. And our sign language interpreter, Samuel Amaresh, and Jolly, the live streamer, who's always this. Thank you so much. I think it's a team effort, and I think we quite did it well. So lastly, where does the future of multi-stakeholder digital governance lie? That would be my last question to you. But don't worry, I'm going to answer it. I think it lies in me, it lies in you, I think it lies in us. Only if we act as an APAC community together. So please continue the discussion in your own community, take these learnings to your community and reach out, making this process a truly bottom-up multi-stakeholder process. As Maria Ressa has rightly said, getting together to talk is not the goal. Getting together to act, that's what will succeed. So thank you very much. That being said, I will move to the last part of this closing ceremony. The MSG leadership changes time to time through election, and this time I'm here to announce the election results. My new leadership team for 2026, and for the vice chair, we have Swaran has been elected as the vice chair. And at this time, I would like to express my appreciation and thanks to Iris, the outgoing vice chair, whose work in bringing in young communities from Philippines to this process has always been instrumental. Thank you so much, Iris. And congratulations, Swaran, welcome to the team. Can you speak a bit to the community so that people know who you are? But congratulations and welcome to the team, Swaran. The mic is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ashwad. I hope you can all hear me. Nisambula Vinaka, Talofa Lava, Malolele, and warm Pacific greetings to you all. And namaste, all the way from Fiji in the South Pacific Islands. Distinguished delegates, colleagues, and friends, it's an honor to join you today at the 16th Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum, a place where I started as a humble fellow, just like my friend Ashwad. First and foremost, Vinaka Vakalevu, which means thank you in Fiji, to the APrIGF MSG and the Secretariat for your trust. For small island developing states like mine, internet governance isn't abstract. It determines whether a student can learn, a farmer can sell online, or a community can stay connected after a cyclone. So these are real lives and these are real predicaments that we, my people, face day in and day out. APrIGF has always been more than an event. It is a space of solidarity where government, civil society, technical communities, private sector, academia, and youth sit together to build something inclusive for all our economies and our people using all digital spaces available. I began this journey as a fellow, eager to learn and contribute. I never imagined that I'd have this humble opportunity to join the leadership team as one of the vice chairs for MSG. So to our fellows and the youth in the room, this message is especially for you. Your voice matters, your perspectives matter, and our community needs you. Just as Ashwad said, you are not just the future of internet governance, you are the present. Speak up, ask the hard questions, and never, ever think that you are not a leader if you do not have a title. As Vice Chair, I aspire to amplify diverse voices, strengthen youth and fellowship pathways, and ensure Asia-Pacific priorities shape global digital conversations. I look forward to continue working with the MSG, the Secretariat, the committee, or the various committees of APrIGF, the Youth IGF. You guys have done tremendous work, very inspirational. I am truly inspired by you as well, and to all our stakeholders. A clear demonstration of our strength this year is, I believe, is displayed in how harmoniously we were able to transition from a physical to a successful virtual event this year. So congratulations to everyone involved, the chair, Ms. Amrita Chaudhry, vice chairs, Mr. Ashwat Tripathi and Mr. Aris Ignacio, And to our superheroes, Rani, Theo, and Christine, it is wonderful to have you back. My sincere gratitude to all of you. I know I'm supported by members beyond the Pacific, and that really makes my heart smile, knowing that people believe in each other, people believe in fellows like you believed in me. So to the MSG Secretariat sponsors, partners, and to my Pacific family, Binaka Vakalevu Dhanyavad for your trust and support. Let us continue building a forum where every voice counts, where trust is built through action, and where no community is left behind. Binaka Vakalevu and Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Sharon. Dhanyavad. And due to her hard work, congratulations, Amrita, for being re-elected as this chair. Without you, it would have been very difficult to smoothly do everything. So I'll hand it over to you. And as the chair, please do close this event with a photograph. So I hand it.
Right. Thank you so much. I see the time is up, but thank you so much to all of you for having the faith in me and the leadership. And I look forward to working with all of you because we are there, because you are there and your support is there. And let's work together, come into the MSG, roll up your sleeves, work with us, and let's have the APAC voice being shared everywhere. Thank you, and thank you for being part of APrIGF 2025. We look forward to your continued support. Please switch on your cameras and put on your best smiles. Let's take a photograph as a parting shot. Thank you.
See you next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for making APrIGF 2025 a success. A big clap to all of you.